What is the good word, Austin Men's Development? It is the 28th of May. We are about to start our Be Social Challenge. I want you guys to be a part of it. This is really gonna kick some butt, man. I mean, basically you get 7 days, 7 video lessons, 7 PDFs. You get 14 days of daily interaction, live Q&As. In fact, this is a Q&A video having to do with a couple questions, social anxiety, texting, and so on. All while I do my squat. You ever do this, Ido Portal squat challenge? It's good for you. It changed a lot of my life. But let's get into this question. So we had a member of the Be Social Challenge who signed up early, which meant he got on the calls, he got on all the stuff early, which is super, super cool. But he's asking about social anxiety, he's asking about texting, and about just generally how to read people in different ways. And this is all super, super important stuff. Now, I want to tackle the social anxiety one first because that is literally the most important thing here. Now, texting, we have a text message guide. I would really advise you to take a look at it. I'll put a link down below of how you can download it for free. I'll just put the straight link. You don't even need to give your email address, whatevers. But in any case, it'll really help you out. But if you don't get socializing, which is what this challenge is all about, it's going to affect you. So I want to talk to you if you have approach anxiety or social anxiety or any of these different things. So first off, approach anxiety is a little bit different than social anxiety. And to understand the whys and all that stuff doesn't matter so much, and I don't want you to get mired down in that. I want you to learn how to get socially functional, and I want you to take actions. But just to explain, approach anxiety means you're afraid to approach a beautiful woman. And every single man will have that. A woman in that hot red dress or looks beautiful in all these ways, it's intimidating, it's supposed to happen. And all of pickup seemed to revolve around this idea of how you could have more power or confidence, which is important stuff, but it doesn't solve that problem. Part of that problem needs to be with you taking that action or getting yourself in the right situations to be able to get that. But approach anxiety is that. A lot of times you override it by doing multiple interactions, or they call them sets, or 3 sets right away, or the 3-second rule. All these things are good things, but those are for approach anxiety. Social anxiety means you get major anxiety around it. Your heart beats out of your chest, your palms sweat, you have fear, terror, all these different things come up. But it's not just hot women. It's large crowds. It's a lot of stuff that could be associated with, but not necessarily saying that it's PTSD. It could be that you don't like a lot of loudness, you don't like a lot of cramped spaces, and in that you build anxiety and you don't want to talk to people. So that distinction is important because it kind of shows where you're at and what you need to do. Either way, it is always going to help you if you can socialize with somebody. What I mean by that is if you are somebody who has major approach anxiety with women, yeah, you can do the 3-second rule, you could do, 3 sets right away, all this different sort of stuff, get warmed up, but it's still going to help you to learn to socialize in a very normal way. But if you have social anxiety, we need to start there. Now, there's a lot of things that you can do with social anxiety. I don't want you to worry about women, which automatically shuts off most of the audience. But if you want to get better, and I have a lot of experience with this, I've been coaching for a long time, I'm going to tell you this. You need to learn to get social with everybody. I know that your solution and your answer is you want to talk to hot chicks. I'm going to show you how to talk to hot chicks. I'm going to show you to give hot chicks the best sex of their life if you stick with me. But you got to start in this spot. We got to normalize social behavior. See, socializing is one of the most normal things that we could do, but we live in a society and culture where that becomes difficult. And that becomes difficult for many reasons. I mean, we have classes, we have different, it's just crazy. We have a lot going on. We have traffic, we have density, we have all sorts of different roles. We're basically around a bunch of people that we don't know, that we're forced to ignore on a daily basis, and that becomes normal. It's easier to do Second Life or play video games, or Second Life isn't popular anymore, but whatever, you get it. You get it. But in all of that, we need to start learning how we could basically be social. Now, the phenomenon that we're trying to go for here, and this is going to be huge in the Be Social Challenge, is we want to get empathy and connection. Okay, if we look at this, and it's just some theory, but I want you to put it into action. I just want you to understand it for a second. That if we have expression ourselves, never faking it, not needing to rely on that. But if we have expression, if we can output into the world who we are, it doesn't have any meaning unless it connects. That connection is empathy. When you get that, no matter who you are as a man, if you have Asperger's, if you have social anxiety, if you have zero experience with women, that is going to change you. And we want you there. You need to be there. You have to get to that first base of connecting with people, because if you don't, then it's all theory and it moves in all this stupid stuff that pick up screwed up, and now the red pill and MGTOW, all these different things are screwing up with their theories, which are not necessarily true. So we want you to get that empathy. So how do we do that? You might hate this, but remember, the goal is for you to date beautiful women, to feel socially free, to never have to deal with this problem again. So if you want that, do this. One of the things is we're going to go to a cafe. That might even be too much for you. And we're going to talk to the person in front of you. And I get it. Like half of you are saying like, oh, but that's not a problem for me, Steve. The hot chick. Shut the fuck up. Listen to me. Again, if you want to learn how to talk to hot chicks, go talk to some asshole online. If you want to learn to feel good about yourself, have sex with hot women, have just an amazing experience that's going to change your life, listen to me. You're going to talk to the person at the cafe. Depends on where you're at, but maybe you just can make statements like saying, those cakes look good. Maybe it might be, how's the coffee today? Well, that's a question. The coffee is good today. Oh, French roast, I love it, or whatever. Maybe it's that there's a lot of traffic, but we're just going to make statements. So one of the things, the reason why we're doing that is it's low investment. We're not expressing a lot. Remember, our expression needs to connect to gain that empathy, and with that we can have value. All right, now in that, people always say, well, what happens after they answer the question? Yeah, there's a lot of traffic today, or that sucks, or they give some sort of answer and those types of things. That's great. If we can do that and not have a problem, like those cakes look good, or that donut looks awesome, then we're gonna add something to it, right? And again, I know you're saying, oh, I can do this, Steve, this is too easy. Just follow me. And the reason why I say follow me is because I want you to overcome your social anxiety. I want you to overcome your issues that you have around socializing and have good lives with people. I want that. So now we're just going to add on a question. Now, if you're not there yet, you stop. You just say, hey, that donut looks good, or there's traffic, and they say whatever, and they take your order, you're good to go. But if not, or if you can make it past that, then we're just going to start adding on things. And what you're going to see, especially if you do the Be Social Challenge, the advanced guys that are able to talk to those hot women and bed them, they're going to follow the same process. They're going to follow the same, so you can follow it like a line. Beginner, intermediate, advanced. You're going to say something like, man, those donuts look really good. Let me ask you a question. Are you ever like too excessive about things? Okay? Now, this is the big jump for social anxiety. This is where all you guys are going like, man, that sounds hard, and I want to talk to hot chicks. Fuck what Steve says. Good. You'll be fucking your hand for the rest of your life. Can't wait to shake it, maybe not, when you come back, because that is what happens. Or you'll be so resentful you don't want to come back and you just keep, oh, Jesus, man. There's a guy on Austin Men's Development, I've known him for 10 years. I told him to deal with his addiction problems around sex in a certain way. And I don't know what his problem is, but he's still fucked, man. He's worse, man. He's all into like racism and, what the fuck? Jesus, just do what works. This is what works. Okay, so I digress. So we're going to start asking questions. Like, have you ever just had too much excess of something? Okay, cool. They're going to be confused. In fact, I can even tell you, because this is social dynamics, you're going to get 4 answers. You're going to get one almost always. But one of those answers is going to be an answer that you probably won't get. They'll say yes. Okay, cool. We're going to move on to the next thing if we get that answer. But the second answer is going to be that they're confused. That's the most common one. They're like, I don't know. That's a crazy question. You're going to get that. Cool. We'll move on to the next thing. The third thing is that they're going to basically give you advice saying, oh, well, the thing is with the right diet, you can do da-da-da-da. Cool. With that answer, we move on to the same next thing as the first three. The fourth is that they don't want to talk to you about that. And there you just have to say, thanks, bye, have a nice day. But if you get those first three, meaning they answered, they're confused, or you get advice, you're going to move on to the next thing. And you're just going to tell a story or your perspective and just say like, hey, look, you know, the reason why I'm asking is, and I know it's confusing, it might be weird, but man, I just go for excess a lot. And part of my life is that I need to not do those things. Let me ask you, when was the last time you were just happy with what you had? Now, this sounds like a crazy conversation, but it's super easy, and you might be going, man, this sounds too complex and nuts, Steve. But here's what's beautiful. Here's what's beautiful. It's not too complex and nuts. You can do it. You can definitely do it. And if you're a part of the Be Social Challenge, I will show you live interactions of me doing something similar to this. But if you do this in the 10, 15 seconds it took you to do this, you're going to start having conversations. And when you start having conversations, you then have an opportunity for connection and empathy, and that's what we want. Now, it doesn't really end there, but this squatting position is getting kind of tough, so I'm going to wrap this up. But what we want to do, and what this process of communication is called, is rapport cycling. If you know it, that's cool, but I'm asking a question, then I'm giving a perspective or a ground, then I'm asking another question. It can keep going. And within that, in just a few matter of seconds, if you wanted to see me find out what kind of sex she has, or her craziest fantasies are, or her most tragic moment in her life, I could get there in 3 cycles. It takes less than 2 minutes. Maybe it might take 5, but it's not going to take any more than that. Or it's just not going to work. It's really easy for it to happen. This is what I want you to learn. Now, I don't want you to learn it for the show-off reasons that I tend to show, like I'm going to find out if she swallows cum or spits it out. I can do that in 3 or 4 cycles, but that's just showing off. The main thing is that I want connection with people. I want to have value of me caring about them and them caring about me in a short amount of time. If I can get that in simple, non-threatening situations like a cafe person, and not your pain speaking of saying, I want the hot chick, Steve, I want the hot chick. Wear your white belt, people. Anyway, the thing is if I can gain that connection, then I move to a phenomenon where I value socializing in a different way. And if I can get you there, if you have social anxiety, that's going to help. If I can get you there, all your text message issues are going to change. If I can get you there, your perspective on women and socializing and life and all this other stuff. Don't you hate it when you're talking and you have to cough and it's just like, anyway, it's going to change. And that's where I want you. Hopefully this is helpful. Anyway, be a part of the Be Social Challenge, and it will take you through this, and I will coach you through this. And if you're having trouble with this being confusing, I will record media and content for you so that it guarantees all you have to do is do the actions to get it. I need you to get to that phenomenon of valuing social interaction so that we can really make the deep digging changes that are really going to change you. All right, let's talk to you later. Bye. No fucking way. I've been squatting for over 10 minutes. Woo! You know how hard that was when I first started? And there's different types of squats and all that sort of stuff. But, Jesus. Almost 15 minutes.